We're at AccountingWeb Boston for the realities of the automated practice, but this is an international edition. I'm John Stockdyke from AccountingWeb, and I've got Clayton Oates from QA in Australia.
Good day, John.
So Clayton, what advice would you to give someone starting out on the path to automation?
Yeah, I think when you look at automation in a practice, I think you've got to understand that automation isn't the answer, ultimately. And you've got to watch what you're trying to automate. There's no point just automating something that perhaps isn't a process that's going to even exist in the business in the future. So keys are really to look at workflow, perhaps. What are the pain points? Is just the throughput of data, from the client into the firm, out back to the client. Know your numbers in that area. What's the pain points? Where is it getting held up? And look for specific solutions that can actually resolve that. So it might be things around, for example, engagement. Getting a proposal out the door, and then actually the point of can you automate that piece? Well, yeah, there's technology out there that actually does that. Client-facing, customer service, client service, software and technologies, I'd be focusing on there. And build that sort of toolkit. But traditionally, practice management, I suppose, is, I don't think the accounting technology industry has solved that for the accountants yet. It's fragmented still.
We know a lot of firms try and solve it for themselves. I'm curious, with the work you've done, and you've done this for quite a few years now, do you find it helps to have a destination for your automation? How important is that to getting your approach right?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think what I see in firms is that they sometimes try just to automate the manual process that they're already that they've got in the firm. But what I think this wave that we're on now gives us a chance to stop and reflect, pause really to start with, and review the way we're doing things around here. And just trying to automate an old way, or probably an ineffective process, or an outdated process, necessarily isn't the answer. And I think a lot of firms get stuck thinking or talking to technology companies to say, hey, this is the way we do things. I want you to give us something that'll do that. Instead of being open to saying, well, look, what's best practice? What feedback can you give me? It's a consultation, really, with perhaps the solution provider, perhaps someone who can independently come in and review the business and think of the firm as a business, from the customer-centric point to the workflow through to the output. So yeah, the end mind game, I suppose, in answering the question is ultimately why would you be using this technology, and how's it going to differentiate your business to others in the marketplace? So is it customer service, for example, client service? Are you running net promoter scores to every client? Simple things like that, so that you then get on that feedback referral loop that I think accountants have underutilized over the years.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. That's a lot to chew on. Thanks for sharing with me.
Well, that's great to be here. Thanks, John.
Cheers.